Had, see, that was from Amazon. I think that was from Echo. I think that was telling we just had a delivery food a while ago. We already got it at the door. Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date, it's July 21st of 2021. I've got my LED light that I mentioned on the tripod. I don't think I actually need it because it's daylight, and even with just the shade open a little bit, that's more than enough for this Logitech G or Logitech 902, whatever, I can't remember, and my Brio. We got in, let's see, yesterday, Coke Zero, the new Coke Zero that new and improved, I guess. I couldn't taste any difference than the Coke Zero before that. I can't taste any difference. My son says that he can't hardly taste any different, my grown son, and he thinks it tastes a little bit sweeter, but I have no problems with the new Coke Zero. I hate to even mention politics at all, but I do a lot here because it's on everybody's mind. Okay, I did not know. Okay, the House is setting up a special committee, I guess it is, to investigate the insurrection on what was it? The 6th. What month was that? Anyway, they're setting up a special committee, and of course the committees are both parties. The party in power is the chairman, and I think they have one extra person. Maybe that's the chairman. So now I didn't see how the House can have a committee to investigate what happened when extreme, right-wing terrorists attempted to, overthrow the government of the United States and invaded the Congress, and were looking to hang the Vice President of the United States, or kill him and everything else. I just didn't see how can you have the party that supports those people, the insurrectionists and the rioters, the criminals, the terrorists. I don't see how you could have a committee because in this case, the Republicans, they're going to say, well, no, well, in fact, they're saying, they have said, well, no, there wasn't any insurrection. Those were actually people who were loving the government, and they were hugging and kissing the police officers. I mean, and they were, and Republican members of Congress, the House, saying that on that day there was no difference between a day when you have regular visitors making tours of of Congress, and I mean, it's just when you have that, I mean, I did not know. Now here, well, what I feel too is, every member of Congress has to swear, and the president has to swear, and the vice president has, police officers and everybody else, an oath, protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. So I don't think I talked about it, but I just thought, when the election took place and then you have members of Congress who are, coming in to take their oath in order to sit in the House or the Senate, but in order to sit in the House, if those people are saying, they swear the oath or want to swear the oath, and but yet they don't believe that Biden was president of the United States, and they don't believe the outcome of the election and all that type of stuff. I mean, I would think that you would just say, "I'm sorry, you can't sit in Congress, and your state is either going to have no representation, or your state is going to have to hold a special election just to fill your spot and anybody else's spot from that state who, I would think that would have been a way to go." But here is a news item from CNN, and I had no idea. I don't know how, what the rules are, for the Senate and the House. I mean, we all know, a little bit of the rules, but I mean, I don't really know, It says here that Congressman McCarthy has pulled his 5 GOP members from the Capitol Riot Committee after Pelosi rejected 2 of his picks. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy is pulling his 5 Republican members selected to join the House committee that's investigating the January 6th insurrection, following House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's decision to reject 2 of McCarthy's picks, a source with direct knowledge confirmed to CNN. Earlier Wednesday, Pelosi announced that she was vetoing the appointment of 2 Republicans who objected to the certification of the November election, Representatives Jim Jordan of Ohio and Jim Banks of Indiana, to the House Select Committee. Okay, I didn't know that she could, or that the Speaker of the House could reject somebody like that. I mean, it's a good rule, and they should have the rule, and well, they do have the rule. And of course, if McCarthy wants to pull his 5 members out, that's fine. In fact, there shouldn't be any Republican member of the House who says that Donald Trump was elected president instead of Biden shouldn't be on the committee. And any one of those people who say that, oh, no, there was no insurrection, there was no violence at the Capitol, and all that bullshit that they come up with, they shouldn't be sitting on it. That's why I'm not sure if I said it in a previous video or not, but I said that I thought that there should be. Well, you can't stop Congress. That's what Congress is there for. You can't stop them from holding, hearings and investigations or whatever. But this didn't look like it was going to go, work very well, because you're going to get no cooperation at all from the Republicans. So I was thinking, and I'm not sure if I said it in a video or not, that the president should just have a presidential investigation, which I think they did after the, assassination of John F. Kennedy, after they did after the 9/11, and I'm sure they've done it other times. Should just be a presidential, and in this case, because of the bizarre, crazy, un-American, and unbelievable circumstances that took place, I think it should just have been a presidential commission, and then the president, would appoint people who are not terrorists, who are not treasonous, to the committee. You would appoint the best people. So I think that's what maybe should happen. I don't know what's going to happen in this case. I think McCarthy's, well, of course he's making a statement, I think it's a mistake to pull, can can Pelosi now go ahead and allow the House hearing? I'm sure she can. It'll just be, well, the minority party isn't here. So I don't know. It's a mess. Anyway, what else is going on? I told you about the Coke. I'm happy with that. I'm having a lot of pain, which reminds me I need to take an naproxen. My arthritis, and I'm having shooting pains in my leg, and I'm having all kinds of, it's just about impossible for me to do anything except sit here in this chair. But so far as walking around or bending over or doing anything, so old age is, of course I was lucky. I mean, I realize I'm a lot luckier. I had, I'd say 65 years or 64 years or 63 years, something like that, of zero medical problems, really. And then mine hit at about age 65, maybe a little bit earlier than that. But I mean, I had no surgeries done. I had, I mean, I was really lucky, but now it's hit me full blast, so. I guess that's it. I just wanted to comment on this. Let me go to the CNN story, by the way, and see that what McCarthy pulls his 5 GOP picks from the January 6th committee. The decision came after House Speaker Pelosi blocked 2 representatives from the committee investigating the Capitol riot. Yeah, I'm glad that she did that, and if he wants to pull all of his people, that's fine, because they're not going to cooperate. They're going to do everything they can to disrupt it. They're going to bring up other things. They're going to say, well, how come?
What are you hearing at this moment in terms of a reaction to both Speaker Pelosi and
they're going to say that well, nothing happened, and if something did happen, that Trump supporters had nothing to do with it. They were totally, it's like, I mean, are you going to believe your eyes, or are you going to believe what these Republican terrorists, insurrectionists, are you going to believe what they're saying and what their front organization, Fox News, and this should be the end of the Republican Party. That's the way, and I did talk about that, I know, in previous videos. When something like this happens, if the voters, even though you are maybe a lifelong, let's take Republicans, even though your family has voted Republican their entire life, and you voted Republican, and you believe in the Republican point of view, when something like this happens, Democrat or Republican, when something like this happens, what the voters should do is vote that party out. Vote. I don't care. I mean, maybe your representative, because here in the United States we have, for each state, 2 senators elected by the entire state. So we have a total of 100 senators for the upper house. And then for the Congress, you have X number of people per, elected per your population of your state. And of course, in those, there's a small district. So you may have a district that You know, you may have a Republican member of the Congress who you know, who has worked for your district, has always been somebody you could call up if there was a problem, or write to your congressman and whatever. But still, no matter what, I don't care if the guy's your relative. When something this horrendous, this horrible, this un-American happens, what we need to do, which just positivity, will not happen. What we need to do is just, in this case, it'd be the Republicans, just vote them out of office. And even 2 years later, when there's an election for the House, because there's an election every 2 years, even then, in a situation like this, even if they are running Jesus Christ and who else would be, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, even then, 2 years later, no matter who they run, they should be defeated. There should be 0 Republicans in the in the House. If you did that once or twice, and that would be a warning to, in this case, that would be a warning to the Democrats also. Okay, if you behave this way, say 4 years for the House, say you're not going to be. We're not going to elect any Republican. That's it. That's the end of your party. You can just, as far as the House is concerned, leave the Senate alone and see how things go. But so far as the House is concerned, you're over with. There won't be any minority party, in the House, because no Republican, if that's a minority, could get elected. Now, you wouldn't have to do that to the Democrats if you did that. Then in the future, the Democratic Party and Republican Party, they would. And I said something like this back when Bill Clinton was impeached. On my blog or whatever, I listed all the Republicans who voted, to remove him from office. And I think I voted the ones that in the House that voted to impeach the president. In the Senate, my philosophy with that was, although that was crazy, anybody who voted to remove, that would have been crazy. For getting a blowjob, and I know it wasn't for a blowjob, it was for one case of perjury. And what husband isn't going to perjure himself if he's being asked under oath, with a camera going, did you have an affair, or did you get a blowjob or something, so it is perjury against, yes, But what I said then was, okay, all these Republicans in the House who voted to impeach, here's a list of them. That should be the end of their career. They shouldn't be able to get elected ever, dog catcher or anything else. I said this, in video and in print on my blog. And I said, if you don't do that, from now on, every time we have a president, the other party is going to be trying to, impeach them. And I said, it'll be terrible. It'll be a zoo. It'll be crazy. So but I knew it wouldn't happen, But in this case, and it won't happen in this case either, but if you did, if you voted, if no Republican could get elected, say in the House, for 4 years, the Republican Party would come back. They would pick the best people. They would pick the most responsible, reasonable, people of integrity, and like they used to have in the old days, not all of them, but it would make a world of difference. But with this current situation, the way it is, what are you going to do? Because these Republicans, even though these people are lying to them, and taking advantage of them and killing off, President Trump is responsible for how many thousands of deaths because of the way he handled, the vaccine situation and the entire virus. And, now you have, with this new virus, what are they calling it? It's migrated into a new, little different, and apparently it's not really affecting people who have had the vaccines. And you can still get this new, but you won't be very sick, and you won't end up in the hospital, and you won't die. So now at this point, all these anti-vaccine people and all this political stuff that's they're trying to use that. What's going to end up is there's going to be fewer Republicans, fewer right-wing, extremist people, and of course it's not just former President Trump that's causing this, but it's like Fox News. How many people now is Fox News responsible for already killing? And by their refusal to do the right thing and being a front group for Donald Trump and extremists, how many people are they going to be actually responsible for killing? But it looks like at this point, which is not something that I want or anybody, any decent human being, but at this point, the people who are going to be suffering, and it's already, coming out, that it's the anti-vaccine people and the ones that are believing Trump or some of these other crazy theories that when you get your vaccine, that they're injecting a bio device or some type of a device into your system, and that and so they're dying already, and there's going to be fewer Republicans. The Republicans are doing everything to keep people to make sure that people who might vote Democratic won't, so they're trying to figure out, okay, well, black people are voting Democratic more than, so they're trying to do everything they can to adjust the hours of voting and what kind of ID you need and all this kind of stuff in the states, which that is un-American. And I think too that there's a case there that I think that would have to be something that the Supreme Court would have to rule. There would have to be a constitutional, I would think a constitutional amendment. Maybe Congress could just pass it, a thing saying that the states have to meet the voting system has to meet the following requirements and the procedures, and you'd have to outlaw, and there'd be a lot of fighting over that, but the states then would fight that in court, and then you'd have to worry about what would the Supreme Court do. But yeah, I mean, it's so many things have come up that you never thought would come up. Sure, they used to have in the South things that made it just about impossible for black people to vote. Poll tax, tests given, and it was all obviously just totally un-American. But it took a long time for those kind of things to come to to an end. But now we have the Republican Party trying to pass things that, and I think the federal government, since they're doing that, if they hadn't done that, if you just had, the way things had been with voting, I'm sure there were states where things needed to be improved and that type of stuff, but since they have a concerted effort and a plan, and it's no secret, and it's obvious, and you can see it in everything they're doing. Why are they passing these things? And the only reason is to keep people from voting. So it seems like that Congress should be able to pass, but maybe it would need which would be impossible to get, a change to the Constitution. But anyway, enough of this. I didn't intend to. Anyway, thank you for. I still have got my naproxen in my hand, and I haven't taken my morning medicines yet. My medical condition is I am Alexa, how old is someone who was born in 1941?
Somebody born on January 1st, 1941 would be 80 years old today.
Okay, well that January 1st is anyway. I'm 80. So I hope my mind isn't going too. My body's going, I know. Anyway, thank you very much for watching.